Listener discretion is advised.
Should we do another shot real
Sure.
quick? Is it too late?
No. Hey everyone, welcome back to the I Should Totally Be Dead Right Now podcast, where we tell true stories of survivors of true crime, natural disasters, and everything else in between. So, hey Michelle.
Happy Easter. It's
Happy
our Easter episode. 'Cause
Yeah.
Easter is tomorrow.
Well, it was yesterday when we post this.
What the fuck ever,
Okay.
Caitlin. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm sad because we usually have like a giant Easter egg hunt for
Right.
adults and kids and have like 80 people over, and now
Yeah.
no one's coming over.
That's sad.
No one.
I know.
I'm not even gonna hide eggs or anything.
How are you doing quarantined right now?
Actually, I'm living the dream. I fucking love everything about it. If it's all I needed to just never leave the house.
Yeah.
I have not left the house in, I think, 5 or 6 weeks or something.
Day.
I'm feeling pretty good. I got my sourdough starter fucking on point. Oh, I meant to bake you some bread and bring it.
Yes!
I'll mail you some. It'll get there in a day.
Yeah, it's true. It's super close. Because Nick and I moved, so we moved even closer.
Little new location.
Yeah.
Our new recording location with lots of cars going by.
Yeah, apologize to the cars. We need to figure out the setup for that.
What we should do is have like a drinking game where we just take a shot every single time.
A shot?
No, we'd be so drunk.
Yeah, that would be, it's like every 10 seconds. So apologies.
Just ahead of time.
Yeah, I'll try, noise reduction.
We're not doing jack shit. Just continue on. Oh, good Lord.
So the drink was inspired by Easter.
Yeah, we tried to do these delightful looking Cadbury cream eggs.
Yeah.
Which I love Cadbury cream eggs.
Mm-hmm.
I think I expressed that to you before, and I'm just going to express it again. I just love them. They're my favorite Easter candy by far. And one time when I was like, I think I was 11,
Mm-hmm.
I ate, you know how they come in a pack of 4?
Yeah.
I ate all 4. Like, throughout the night.
Uh-huh.
And then I was awake for the next 48 hours. That is fucking
That's
no
all.
joke.
Oh my gosh.
I just remember being awake in my room, being 11 years old. And I was like just reading and reading. And I was like, oh my God, I've read this whole book. I'm going to go get another one. Oh my God, it's 2 a.m. I'm going to read. I must have read like 3 or 4 books that night.
Oh my God.
And was wide awake and jolly the whole time. Like,
they're super sweet.
oh my God. Yeah, it was pure sugar. It was just pure sugar rush.
That's a good story.
I've never eaten a 4-pack since, FYI.
A 4-pack.
No, don't do it, guys. Don't do it. It's stupid.
So what's in this Cadbury egg
Oh,
drink?
okay. So these fucking drinks, guys. Oh my God. So they look so cute. So
Yeah.
they look like a Cadbury cream egg in a martini glass. So you put chocolate, you melt chocolate, and you put it around the edges. So that was a nice pain in the ass to get us started.
Yeah.
And then you dye some sweetened condensed milk a little bit yellow so it looks like an egg yolk. You put that at the bottom of the glass. And then on top you pour it's vanilla vodka and that white chocolate Godiva liqueur, you know, that always looks so amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, it tasted like garbage.
It was not good.
No, we ended up going back to our old standby of fucking taking shots of Irish cream.
5 Farms Irish cream.
5 Farms, we love you. If they ever shut down, I'm going to be devastated. It's like the first thing I look for in the liquor store.
Yeah.
I just beeline it straight to where the 5 Farms is.
You just have to stock up.
I know. Well, I wasn't going to get a bottle of it. And I was like, that's ridiculous. So,
Well,
anyway.
anything else about the quarantine before we jump into our
No,
Easter
the quarantine
episode?
can fuck itself.
You love it.
I do love it. It's like, I'm sad that all these people are sick and dying, and that's terrible. And I certainly don't want to get sick, and I don't want any of my family to get sick. I want everyone to get better.
Yeah.
But I love being forced to stay home.
Right. You're just a homebody.
I am a
are.
homebody. It's like, and Joel's a homebody, and so he's been working from home, and it's been just delightful.
Hope you're staying safe. Please stay home if you can. And enjoy podcasts.
Yes.
Listen to us.
Now is the time.
Yeah. You can binge listen to all of our episodes.
Just see all the creative ways that we've told survival stories.
And all the different drinks we consumed.
All right, you got a story to tell us.
I do. So I didn't get like an Easter theme, but I did get something that happened in April.
Oh, okay.
So,
mine is sort of spring themed, but not really.
Like Easter.
I guess the weather is nice outside. That's the only thing springy you can say.
It's very nice today.
It is. God, it's been gorgeous.
All right. This story is about Violet Jessop.
Violet Jessop.
So Violet was 16 years old in 1903.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah.
I always like going back a little further.
Yeah. So she was born in Argentina to Irish parents.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
So at the age of 16, her father just passed away from a complication from surgery.
Oh.
So she took care of her younger sister while her mother was at sea as a stewardess.
Oh, shoot. Okay. So she's holding down the fort.
Yes. So she's taking full reign. She's still going to school, though.
Of course she is. Violet, you're amazing.
But one day, Violet's mother fell ill, so Violet had to drop out of school, and she applied to be a stewardess like her mom to, take care of the family.
Okay, so her mom is now ill and can no longer work.
Correct.
So she's going to try to do what her mother did.
Yes, to take care of the rest of the family.
Okay.
So Violet dressed down to make herself less attractive so she could get hired.
I'm like, I feel that, girl. Oh, I feel that.
Most women working on ships were middle-aged, and employers considered it being attractive and young a disadvantage at getting hired.
Maybe because there's a lot of men working around there.
Yeah.
Some such, I don't know.
But she got the job. And
I've seen Les Miserables. I know what can happen to young, attractive women who are trying to take care of their families.
That's right. Good reference.
I was just listening to the soundtrack yesterday. Mom was
you?
like, what the fuck are you listening to? As I'm like crying to I Dreamed a Dream or whatever the fuck that song is. It makes me cry every time. It's so sad. Sorry. Oh my God, this is fucking all over the place. Oh, God.
So she got the job.
Yay!
At the age of 21. She began a job as a stewardess on the Orinoco in 1908. And this was a Royal Mail line.
What does that mean? So,
it's in mail. It's a mail line,
Oh, as in
mail.
Post.
Yeah,
Postage.
M-A-I-L, not M-A-L-E, Michelle.
Like, is this a strip club on the high seas? What's happening?
It ran between England and the Caribbean.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, that's,
Yeah, the post office over in Europe is called Royal Mail. I did know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, as a stewardess, she got 3 marriage proposals. So, her dressing down did not work. She was still approached. She said no to each one. At the age of 24, so 1911, Violet began work for the White Star vessel RMS Olympic.
Okay.
This was a luxury ship, which was the largest civilian liner at the time.
Okay.
On the voyage, the Olympic collided with the British warship HMS Hawke, which was a British warship especially designed to ram into other ships and sink them.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So, I'm assuming this was an accident.
It was, yeah.
They were not being, rammed by
No.
ships out in the ocean. Fucking pirates.
Luckily, there was no fatalities, and even with the damage, it did not sink and was able to make it back to ports.
Oh, good.
So the collision flooded 2 of the watertight compartments, and warped the propeller shaft.
Ew.
Yeah, but they still made it into port. No one died. Cool. Less than a year in 1912, April 10th, Violet is still 24 years old and gets a stewardess job on the RMS Titanic.
Oh, what? God damn it. I almost brought up the Titanic, too.
Really?
Oh, I was like, this is around the same time as the Titanic.
That's right. So the Olympic and the Titanic are sister ships.
Oh, I fucking bet they are.
Several friends convinced her to transfer because they thought it would be a wonderful experience for her.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. So business was normal as usual, and 4 days later, on April 14th, the Titanic struck an iceberg.
I was like, and it fucking sank.
So she was brought up to the top, and they gave her a baby to take care of, and they told her to get on lifeboat 16. So she's just like,
so
okay.
she just got, okay, so it struck the iceberg. They shoved a baby into her hands and said, go get on this lifeboat.
Well, she was, because she worked there. So she came up because she was ordered to come up, and there was a baby. So the man, a worker, just gave her a baby, like, take care of this, get on this lifeboat.
Okay.
So she's like, okay.
Do you think she saw a Rose and what's his name up at the front doing the
No.
whole flying thing?
Okay.
What is his name? Why can't I think of it? Leo's character.
I don't remember.
Who cares?
I don't see that.
I always just like Leonardo.
Jack.
Rose
Okay.
and Jack up at the front.
Jack.
Poor thing.
Sorry.
It was so dramatic at the time.
It
I remember
was.
seeing that.
I
in
bet
the
you
theaters.
cried.
Are you effing kidding me? Yeah, I fucking cried through the whole cut. I cried in the music video. I remember when it was first released, and there's a scene where the two older people are like hugging, like spooning on a bed as the Titanic is sinking.
Oh, right.
Fucking waterworks.
So Violet is now safe on a lifeboat.
Rose.
And
No, I'm sorry. Violet, not Rose.
And it wasn't until the morning when the lifeboats got picked up by the RMS Carpathia. While on board, though, a woman walked up to Violet, snatched the baby, and ran away without saying a word.
What?
So Violet assumed that was the mom of the baby. So,
Hopefully a safe assumption. Hopefully.
yeah. She's like, okay. I mean, she survived it. And she went back to be a stewardess for the British Red Cross in 1916, 4 years later.
Hang tight.
Yeah.
So she has been essentially on 2 sinking ships at this point.
Yeah.
And she's like, fuck it. I'm still, boats are my life. This
Yeah.
is what I'm
This
doing.
is her life, yeah.
All
But
right.
it was 4 years later that she got back. Which, the first time, I get it. Okay. It didn't sink. Okay, It was just
Yeah.
like, oops, it was a mistake. But once it sunk and thousands of people died, I need to look up how many people died.
1,500.
Out of...
705 lived, and
Okay.
1,500 people died.
Okay, so 1,500 people died, and she was one of the 700 that survived. So that's a big chunk of people that passed away.
There was 492 passengers that lived and 214 crews. So she was part of
The
that
crew.
214.
Nice.
Wow.
But that would scare me to going back on the boat because, I mean, the ship said it was unsinkable. And within 4 days it sunk. It's just...
Yeah. No, it's such a heartbreak about the Titanic just because there were so many things that could have been done.
Yeah.
You know, it was just an accident of arrogance. I mean, is maybe the only way I can think of it.
Yeah. It was a bunch of things falling through the crack.
Yeah,
Because
because
if
they
they hit on
didn't think
straight on, it would
could
have been
happen.
fine.
No, they did and there should have been more lifeboats. There should have been, there
That's
should have been
right.
all kinds of things that were different that were not because they just assumed it couldn't sink.
Yeah. All right. So, again, 4 years later, she boarded the HMS Britannic, which is a white liner that had been converted into a hospital ship. So,
Oh.
this is also a sister ship. So, these are the 3 sisters of these ships.
Oh
That
my
she's
God, is
gone
there any
on.
other sisters that are
No, it's-
wayward out there? It's just
No.
the 3?
It's just 3 sister ships that she's been on every single one of them.
Did this motherfucker sink?
So, one
Can
day...
we have a spoiler alert? Okay,
well,
tell me.
One day, all of a sudden, there was an explosion,
Oh, motherfuck, Violet.
and the Britannic sank
Of course it did.
within 55 minutes.
What? So she has been on 3 ships
Yeah.
that went down.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
Well, not-
technically the first one didn't go down,
Right.
but
It's still...
the second 2 clearly did.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
So it killed 30 people out of 166 people on board.
Oh.
There was a hypothesis that it was either struck by a torpedo or it was hit by a mine. In the 2016 documentary, The Mystery of the Britannic, they did a diving expedition which determined the ship was struck by a deep sea mine.
Oh. That's no good.
So when the explosion happened, Violet had to jump off the boat.
Oh my god.
She's
like, don't worry, guys. I've lived through this before.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you everything you need to know about being on a sinking ship.
Yeah. But once she was in the water, she was able to get into a lifeboat, but was almost killed by the boat's propellers that were sucking lifeboats under the stern.
Oh, that's terrifying.
It is terrifying. So Violet had to jump out of the lifeboat, but when she did, she suffered a traumatic head injury hitting the piece of the propeller.
Oh, God.
She was able to survive this head injury.
Oh, my gosh.
And she actually came back to the White Star Line in 1920. And then she joined the Red Star Line and then back to the Royal Mail Line.
Do you think any of her employers were, like, just perusing her resume and thinking, she's been on a lot of sunk ships. Maybe she's not the best luck.
I don't know.
All those men who are like, women are bad luck on board, are being like, we told you.
That's true. That is a thing, huh?
Uh-huh.
Women are...
I know it's a huge thing in Japan.
It's a pirate thing, isn't it?
I know in Japan it's a huge thing.
Oh, really?
Like, women and girls are not allowed. I don't know if this is the case anymore, but back in the day, like, not... Pretty much if, like... someone was found playing, like a girl was found playing in a boat, like they would burn it or they would bleach it or they would... Oh my gosh. I mean, and it was just considered bad luck from then on out.
That's interesting. Well, in this case, it's kind of true. Sorry.
Sorry, Violet.
So she got married in her 30s, but it was brief. That's all it said. 'Cause
he drowned?
No. No, I think they got divorced. I mean, I don't think it was anything.
It was not love meant to be.
Yeah. She did travel the world twice in her lifetime. In 1950, she retired to Great Ashfield in Suffolk. Right?
Yeah.
Suffolk?
Sure. Well done.
Thank you.
Is that in England?
She did live in England when she was young. It is in England. You're right.
Is it?
Wow, good job.
Nailed
yeah,
it.
so she so her family moved to England when the father died.
Okay.
So I guess she just went back there when she retired. So a few years after she retired, Violet says that she received a call asking if she remembered rescuing a baby.
What?
And she said yes, and the voice said, "That was me," laughed, and then hung up.
What?
And people say it was just a kids playing prank, but Violet swore that she never told anyone about this story. Now, records from the Titanic that the only baby on Lifeboat 16 was Asad Thomas, who was handed to Edwina Trout.
Huh.
So there's no records of this baby, but Violet says she was taking care of a baby and...
Until it got snatched away
from her. And then years after she retired in 1950, she got a call saying it was the... That's so weird. It's random.
Yeah, I bet it is the baby. That's
right.
Like, well, I don't know.
Why wouldn't they talk more?
Yeah, why wouldn't they?
Instead of, "I'm that baby, ha!"
And then hung up. Especially when you do it like that.
Right? Anyway, so Violet was often referred to as Miss Unsinkable.
Yeah. Everything sinks around her, but not her.
Yeah.
Good job.
You can't sink her. She died of congestive heart failure in 1971 at the age of 81.
All right, so she lived a nice full life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She traveled the world. She was on all the sister ships that got...
She took them all down.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, I don't mean that, Violet. I'm sure it wasn't your fault. Just kind of. No, could you imagine, like, oh shit, it's happening again?
After the second time, I would have probably stopped. Especially after Titanic.
Yeah, I'd probably be like, you know what, ships aren't for me.
Yeah.
That's not my gig anymore.
No.
But not her, not Violet.
But she was in that line for a lot of years, and only 3 times. in these songs. So.
Only 3 times. Good God. It's like only being in 3 plane crashes.
But they were all sister ships. So maybe there was a correlation between like how they were built.
Some engineering problems.
Yeah. Something. Something.
Interesting.
It is really interesting. I am so intrigued by the Titanic. I went to like the museum they had. It's just very interesting.
Yeah. Well, they tried to raise it back when they were making the movie. Did you hear about that? No, James Cameron. Hopefully, I'm remembering this correctly and not in
we'll
my
find out.
fucking. Yeah, we'll find out. No. He tried to have it raised, and so they got it partway up, and then it fell again.
Oh.
And so they ended up leaving it there and decided
I know
not to bring it up.
they got a lot of items from the ship.
Yeah, there was a ton of artifacts that were like even still in fantastic condition and things. I watched them. I think they found some books and things. Oh God, it's been so long because, of course, when the movie came out, there was all kinds of stuff about the Titanic on TV, like all the time.
Yeah.
And I just remember watching all this footage of them, you know, taking cameras down while they were diving and things, and just looking at the different items. And I feel like one was like looking through a book, and you could still read all the pages and everything because it had been
closed,
sealed, and and so
interesting.
It's fascinating. Who knows what is fucking on the bottom of the sea? I've been,
That's
again,
true.
watching a lot of Ancient Aliens.
Okay. So who knows about life itself?
Yeah, probably the aliens came and, you know, were like,
it wasn't
what's
an
all
iceberg.
this?
It was.
Yeah, it wasn't an iceberg all along. No, I do think that was an iceberg.
Yeah,
I don't think it was aliens.
No. Well, yeah, so that was my April story.
Good job.
Thank you.
Well, my story, as I said, is really just takes place in the sunshine.
I love it.
So that's why it's spring
Okay.
story for me, if you will. So let me just start off this story by telling you it's a little bit barftastic.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little hard to hear and visualize.
Okay, great. So there's your warning, listeners.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
Be prepared for what's to come.
All right.
All right. So this story is about Xavier Cunningham.
Ooh,
and
fancy name.
He is 10 years old.
Aww.
And this is, it's either September 11th or September 12th, 2018.
It matters. I'm just kidding.
Damn.
September 11th. Hello?
I'm pretty sure it's September 11th. I know. Coincidence?
I don't know.
Probably.
We'll find out.
All right. So this story takes place in western Missouri.
Okay.
And so Xavier, also known as Bear.
Aww. When was it? I'm sorry. What year is this?
2018.
Oh,
so it's
this
pretty
is recent. Okay,
yeah, it's just a couple years ago. So Xavier was playing in the backyard with his 2 friends, Silas and Gavin.
Cute.
And they found a rod in the backyard, and they were taking turns throwing it as far as they could. So this rod was essentially like a skewer that you use for like a rotisserie chicken.
Oh,
so
okay.
it was pointed like an arrow on one end, so it had sort of a sharp end on one end, and then it had like these 4 prongs on the other end, where I'm assuming would sort of click into the barbecue and you could turn it. So, no, they were throwing it to see how far they could see who could throw it the furthest.
Okay.
And so they were playing, and then they kind of got bored with that. So they went over to the neighbor's house to go play in the tree fort.
Okay.
And so they stuck the skewer in the ground and they climbed up the tree fort. And pretty much as soon as they got up there, they discovered a giant wasp's nest.
Oh no.
So that was up in the tree, like kind of behind. So they couldn't quite see it until they started getting stung.
No.
And so they're getting like all these wasps or yellow jackets, I'm not sure which, were stinging them, and so they were trying to get away. Xavier starts going down the rope ladder or whatever, the ladder from the tree fort, and he has a wasp land on his left hand, and he swats it with his right hand and loses his balance and falls face down towards
oh my
the ground.
gosh.
And so he feels a sting just below his left eye and was like, oh my God, did I get stung again? And he stands up and realizes he had in fact not been stung, but that skewer that they were playing with is now embedded 6 inches into his fucking, just below his eyeball. So it went in his, like, inside his, what is this called? Your eye socket. And into his brain. And so...
So wait, it was the 4 prongs sticking up, or was the pointy end?
The pointy end
was sticking up.
So the prongs were down in the ground.
Oh my god.
Kicked in mud, because that mud keeps coming back throughout the story. And so he runs home screaming.
Yeah. I
so
bet.
So it's like, I can't even fucking imagine.
No.
And he didn't, I mean, like I said, he didn't even fully comprehend what was going on. Like, the bee stings were more concerning. The wasp stings were causing more pain than the thing in his face was.
Really? Just adrenaline, I'm guessing?
Probably. Yeah. And just, maybe just being a kid and going being crazy. He runs home and his mom hears him. She's upstairs folding laundry and was like, oh my god, when is this boy gonna grow out of screaming all the time? Because I guess this was kind of a thing with him, is he was very fussy about getting injured. So, like, small injuries would set him off into, like, screaming fits. So, like, for instance, I think a dog jumped up on him and he, like, lost his shit and was screaming. And so his mom was like, oh my god. So she goes downstairs and then she was like, who shot you? Because she thought he had been shot with an arrow, like, directly. So he's there at the bottom of the stairs. She's like, what the fuck is going on? And all it is like this giant skewer sticking out of his eyeball, essentially, and then just one, like, little trickle of blood going down. And he was complaining about his hand more than he was complaining where the bee or the wasp had stung it.
Could he still see through that eye?
Yeah, I think so.
Whoa.
Like, because he could see it.
Right.
And so...
Ew.
So I'm assuming, well, it could have been the other eye, but it was just below the eye, so it didn't actually puncture the eye, thank God.
Right underneath the socket.
I know, as if this isn't barftastic enough. So, Xavier's mom yelled that, I'm taking Bear to the hospital, so... Her oldest daughter kind of took care of the other kids, and they rushed off to the hospital.
What a mom's worst nightmare.
What? Seriously, are you kidding me? Oh, my God. And the neighbor, I guess, who saw them rushing away was like, that boy is never coming home. I mean, it looked really bad. So, at the emergency room, they gave him painkillers and sent him in for x-rays.
Okay.
And they could see that it didn't hit his spine, but they couldn't tell what kind of tissue damage had been done. But because you can't see that in the x-ray, I guess. In the x-ray, the skewer just showed up as, like, this very vivid white. And so you couldn't see any of the details of the skewer. And so they felt like they needed to know more about the skewer before they could even attempt to extract it.
Okay.
Because what they were scared of is that it might be bent a little bit, or there might be, like, a small little gap in the metal, and so if they pulled it out, it could just rip an artery or something.
Oh, wow.
And so, I mean, because there's all kinds of arteries going through, and they didn't want to cause him to have a stroke or die, of course. So they decided that they needed to get a better picture of it. They pack him up and get ready for this transfer. So now they have to make sure his head doesn't move, because they don't want the skewer moving at all to do any brain damage. They put a collar around him, and then they wrapped, so it was like a plastic collar, and then they wrapped everything around with gauze, including the skewer, so it, like, wouldn't move.
Okay. And
so the only thing you could see was this muddy skewer sticking out and his mouth. Like, that was it. And then they took him 5 miles down the road to the hospital that has the better equipment.
Oh, okay. So luckily there's a hospital close, another hospital.
So he goes in for a CT scan so they can take a closer look at everything. And so what this does is it shows them all of the major blood vessels and everything. And what they could see is this fucking skewer barely hit all the major, or barely missed all the major arteries. In fact, just one of the arteries was, like, bent a little bit around it, because it had come so close to hitting it, and any one of those would have just pretty much caused him to bleed out.
That's crazy.
Almost immediately. Oh, and what I forgot to mention is he had a bump on the back of his neck where the pointy end had not broken through the skin.
Oh.
So I know, as if it wasn't gross enough. So it went in and didn't make it out the other end, but there was a bump there.
Okay.
I know, gross. So they got the CT scan.
Yeah.
But they decided that was not detailed enough. They
Right.
couldn't get a detailed picture of the actual skewer.
Right.
And again, because it was bent or because they were afraid it was bent or whatever, they decided they needed an even more advanced scan.
Okay.
So now we're on to scan number 3.
Oh, wow.
So they call up this doctor. It is Dr. Ebersole.
Okay.
You have to, Kobe Eversole. So you have to forgive me if I said that completely wrong. They call him at 7:30 p.m. and he's playing tennis. And they told him the whole situation. And because of how this scan works, you need like 15 to 20 people in the room to even do the scan.
Okay.
So I don't know why all that is, but essentially it was too many people to gather so late in the evening.
Right.
So they're like, can he survive another day and can this wait until morning? And they're like, yeah, he can wait until morning. He'll be fine.
Great.
So poor mom is charged with watching him all night. And
what?
Because what they're scared of is he will wake up and try to pull it out. Or try to pull it out when he was unconscious, or, you know, and so that's what they're scared of, is they can't just yank it out because God knows what's going to happen.
Right.
So they end up making it through the night. Freaking, I guess it was like the worst night of Gabrielle's life.
I bet, yeah.
You know? But Xavier knew that he needed to not pull it out because he had seen, what is it? Why can't I think of the Black Panther, the movie? The brother, like, pulls out a spear that had been, and he dies immediately. So, spoiler alert. I guess I should have said that first.
Michelle.
I know, I just tell the end of Black Panther, even though I can't even remember the name of the goddamn movie. Anyway, you're welcome. I didn't give any, there's names in here, but I didn't say any of those.
Okay.
Mainly because they're hard.
Okay.
So they make it to the next morning. And the first thing he did when he woke up was like, is it out yet? Nah, kid. That's still in there.
Right.
So now they're debating how to get it out. So they end up going through with the scan and they see that the skewer is in pretty well intact and they just need to pull it out, but they need to be like super careful with it. While they're videoing it and everything, they decide to start. So first they debated like whether they should cut open his neck in the back where that bump was and pull it out enough to cut the tip off. Because I guess it's kind of like an arrow, so it sort of is notched a little bit, and they're afraid that notch is just going to rip out arteries as it goes. But they end up not doing that. So the rod was made of thick stainless steel and would take a lot of force to break it off, and they were afraid that the movement of breaking off that tip would kill him anyway. They started to decide to pull it out.
Ugh.
They have one guy kind of filming the whole thing, and then another guy who is responsible for pulling it.
Why are they filming it? For liability reasons?
No, they're filming it so why I say filming, I shouldn't say that. It's that scan. So they can see inside, and so they're watching it as it's getting pulled out. I get
it, okay.
They could see the 1 in a million trajectory the skewer had taken. It had missed his spine by about a half an inch, and it missed the cerebellum, the part of the brain that controls things such as balance and speech, by the same margin. It had punctured the carotid sheath, but didn't appear to have damaged the hypoglossal nerve or the vagus nerve, which control the tongue function, swallow reflex, and the voice box.
Wow.
So it went kind of in at a downward angle, I guess you could say. The skewer had torn the jugular, but it had appeared to have sealed itself. The skewer had missed his facial nerve, which controls all your facial expressions and your sense of taste.
Wow.
Which I didn't know. Most important, it had missed both the crucial arteries, the carotid and the vertebral. I apologize.
Sure.
Oh my God. In fact, it had nudged them away without actually puncturing them, so it moved them. So they were sort of bent around the skewer. So they started to pull it out, and they got it out less than an inch, and they're like, we think it's stuck on something. And so it turns out it was stuck on some of the tendons in his neck.
Oh.
No, this is so barftastic, the whole thing. Okay, so they ended up sort of angling it a little away from the guy, and then which got it out of the tendons of the neck, and he was able to sort of pull it out a little bit more. They were able to get it mostly out, and then where it had sealed itself around his jugular, they had to sort of yank it. And then they got around the carotid artery, and once they got around that, then it was kind of all safe, and they were able to actually get the skewer completely out.
Okay.
At 3 p.m. the following day, they came into the waiting room and told Xavier's parents that it's out, he's okay. And Gabrielle gave the doctor a big old hug.
Aww.
And so the only physical evidence of Xavier's unplanned adventure is a tiny bump beside his nose and some numbness on the left side of his face. So now when he gets, scraped by the dog or have anything, the mom asks how bad it is. And he's like, well, it's not a skewer in the face. And then they laugh.
That's
and all
cute yet sad.
No, it was fucking crazy. There's a picture of it.
Is there?
Yeah,
I'll have to look it up. That's so sad. That's so lucky, actually.
It is super lucky.
Especially when it goes through a
here
face.
It is, like, just going straight through.
Whoa.
So it went in through his eye all the way to the back of his neck.
And he had no injuries. Oh, I guess the place wasn't that tall.
No, it looks like it's maybe 7 feet, 8 feet off the ground. Oh, there he is afterwards. Oh, he has this little Band-Aid.
That's so cute.
Oh my God.
What a weird thing to live through, especially so young. How old was he?
10.
10, oh my God.
Yeah.
Traumatic.
Well, and he just sort of kept it together and wasn't freaked out, and so good job.
Well, it's weird that was less painful than some stings on the hand.
Well, I've been stung by bees, so I fucking get it. I think I told you about the time that I got stung a shit ton of times.
Yeah, you walked calmly away, which I would be running.
No, so our beehives had blown over in the wind, and I went out in my pajamas. I was wearing fucking Christmas leggings, like a sweater or something, to just go investigate. And I lifted up one of the hives
because you thought they were dead.
Yeah, I was like, I don't see a single bee. They're fucking all dead.
Yeah.
So I started to lift it up and realized how heavy it is because it's a brood box full of honey, which, I mean, they weigh like 80 to 100 pounds. Wow. And so I just sort of gently put it back down on the ground. I mean, I only got it up like 3 inches.
Yeah.
And that was enough movement to get the bees
Hopping.
Excited and awake and swarming me. So all of a sudden, I have all these bees all over me. So I just walk very calmly with my arms like way out. So I didn't like smash any of them, and walked very calmly away as they're just fucking stinging away. They were all stuck in my snowman PJs. And
oh my gosh.
Oh, I must have had, I think we counted them afterwards. It was like 34 stings, I think.
You're so lucky. Because that could kill someone.
No, fortunately I'm not allergic. I was hoping to get superpowers. Did I get superpowers? None. None.
None indeed.
The bees don't even like me more.
There's that bitch that came.
Yeah. No, I guess as soon as they can smell, there's a pheromone that gets released as soon as they sting, which it excites all the other bees around them and wants them to get them to sting.
Wow.
So once one goes, you've got to just walk away.
Yeah, but calmly, because if you freak out, they sting more?
Yeah. Once you start swatting them, then everything gets crazy. So, yeah, that was the most stings I've ever had.
That's a lot.
And I remember Joel came home from work because he's like, I don't know if you're going to die or not.
Right, yeah.
I'm like kind of allergic, but not anaphylactic.
Right.
Allergic.
So you're swelled up.
I just swelled up big time. Were you working for me at the time?
Yeah, I was off. I had vacation.
Of course you had vacation. God damn it, Keelan.
I said every time I leave, something fucking happens.
Yeah, true.
Oh, I know I haven't been at work.
I had the worst week of my life. life without you there,
I know. It's been weird working from home. That was a good spring, good story. It was sunny.
That's all I can really... No, I found this story like, I don't know, a month and a half ago.
Oh, really?
I was like,
Yes.
yeah, I'm going to tell this one when it gets a little nicer out.
Yeah. No, that's good. Well, I think we're waiting on Patreon for a little bit since everyone's quarantined.
We don't want to
Maybe
take all
one
your
day.
money when you're broke.
We'll see. Maybe
We're
one
broke.
day. I know. Yeah.
It'll happen.
It will happen. So, tell your friends.
God. I was so enthusiastic. That didn't make me want to kill myself at all. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Anyway, so we hope you enjoy this podcast.
Sorry. I'm like, Arr!
And we hope that you're staying home and staying safe and sane. And
safe and well.
Safe and well. All right. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, please check us out on Facebook and Instagram at I Should Totally Be Dead Right Now. And
we hope you had a happy Easter. We hope you did not eat 4 Cadbury cream eggs, which means you're still awake from then.
Yeah.
And maybe didn't try the Cadbury cream egg
Drink.
But
it's a cute photo, so check it out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time, and have a good day.
My God.
I don't know.
Caitlin, good Lord. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I'm stopping it.
Okay.
Stopping it right now.